How's it going, guys? I'm Robert from Untitled Visuals, and I've had something on my mind for quite a while. Aputure has been making strides with their LEDs, the 300d being one of their most popular lights out right now, which has me thinking, how does it stack up against an HMI? More specifically, how do three 300ds stack up against an HMI? The Joker 800 is one of my go-to fixtures because of the beautiful light quality and tremendous output. HMIs have been pretty much the gold standard for daylight sources, but LEDs have been on the rise over the past several years. I've even worked with a few gaffers who have completely retrofitted their trucks with complete LED packages. To put this to the test, we set up a simple shot with a 6x full grid, T-boned on a Matthews frame. For fill, we just used another 6x ultra balance on the opposite side. We measured the light at about 7 feet 10 inches away from the fabric, and we metered foot candles around the center of the beam. We also threw a 0.6 ND on the window to help knock down the intensity of our background. First up was the Joker. We wanted to maximize intensity while also getting even coverage on the 6x, so we used the medium flood lens. Metered at the fabric, we were receiving about 653 foot candles at about 5500 Kelvin with a delta UV of negative 0.0012. TM30 gets a near perfect fidelity score of 97 and a saturation score of 100. When we take a look at the spectral graph, we see why HMIs have been so prominent in the industry. A healthy spectral distribution with pretty moderate peaks and valleys. For comparison, this is the spectral graph of natural daylight. It shows a full-bodied spectrum with very minimal spikes and wavelengths. Here's where things get really interesting. We threw up the 300Ds with the 2x Fresnel, which instantly doubled our output on full flood. Measuring in the center, we were receiving a whopping 3,840 foot candles, which is over 2.5 stops or 5 times brighter than the Joker 800. Leaving camera exposure alone, this is the equivalent output of the Joker. From a quality standpoint, the results speak for themselves. The 300Ds are measuring at roughly 5600 Kelvin and a similar delta UV of negative 0.0012. TM30 gets a fidelity score of 93 and a saturation of 101. I'd consider this to be quite excellent. What's even more impressive is that these are all running off a single circuit and draw less power than an HMI. The three 300Ds have a peak draw of 10.5 amps or 3.5 amps each, while the Joker pulls around 12.5 amps, meaning you could potentially add 2 more 300Ds on a 20 amp circuit. The heat dissipation is another added benefit of this setup. While the 300Ds do get fairly hot during operation, they don't get nearly as hot as an HMI because of the increased efficiency. This means cooler temps while shooting and greatly decreased wait times when breaking down lights. I actually did a recent shoot in Jersey using this lighting setup. This is actually a pretty convenient kit to travel with since all you need are a few light stands, part of a 6x frame, and your choice of diffusion. We had an interview location that had these beautiful massive windows, so we used that as our motivation for our key. In this case, our lights were set to 70% since I didn't want to overpower the room ambience. This way, the light appears naturally motivated, almost like it's coming from another window within the room. This leads me to another great point about the setup. These lights are fully dimmable. HMI ballasts are technically dimmable, but generally don't work as well as you need them to, which forces you to break out nets or scrims to control output. Two major factors when purchasing lights are quality and affordability, and Aputure has both. A new Joker 800 costs around $7,300 on B&H, while three 300D Mark IIs are $3,300 total, or $3,660 if you buy 3 Fresnel attachments. That's still a lot of dough, but is remarkably affordable considering it's outputting more light than a $7,000 fixture. This gets me incredibly excited for the upcoming 600D, which is hopefully around the corner. I've been waiting on that monster all year and can't wait to get my hands on one. Until then, this will do. Hopefully this video is helpful in some way. I love thinking of new lighting setups that I can use on set. Lighting technology is how MKBHD views phones. They're getting good and they're getting cheap. It's exciting to see where manufacturers will take their products so that we can access a broader spectrum of tools to help tell our stories. Of course, if you have any questions on this video, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.